Hi, welcome back. This is Rachel Zufa, and we're here to do some book talks today. And today's theme is suspense, thrillers, mystery. But I really wanted to emphasize the idea of suspense. Those books that you just can't quite put down, those thrillers that occupy your mind. And I have three different ones. They're um, two of them are new. One is an older title, but the author, two of the authors can have several books that are I shouldn't say similar, but in the same genre. So if you like those books, then you're going to definitely want to go and hook up with those authors. And so the first one that I'm going to share has not come out yet. It comes out on June, I want to get the right date, 23rd. 2020. So I do want to give a shout out to James Patterson, the Jimmy Patterson Press, which is part of Little Brown, for the ARC. I greatly appreciate it, and it has a really appropriate. You can tell it's going to be a thriller. It is called Youre Next. Just by looking at this, you can tell things don't look good. It's got like the whole like I'm a serial killer vibe, and I'm cutting things out from a magazine and I'm putting them over your eyes. And this was a really great page turner. And so you have here your protagonist, Ava. And Ava, I'm just going to go put it out there, she's not the most popular kid in school because she's one of those who just loves a really good mystery. And her mother isn't around. She lives with her grandfather and her younger sister. And part of the reason for that, which you find out very, very quickly, is that an event happened. So you sort of enter into this story. In fact, I had to check to see, is there a book previous to this? Because you enter into the story knowing that there's some tea about Ava that's been going around the school. People don't want to have anything to do with her. And the reason for that is there was a murder, okay, in the previous year. And Ava was the one who found the body. And she felt compelled to try to follow up on clues, to do the Nancy Drew thing. And Ava sort of has something that other people don't. And she has a grandfather who is well connected. I'm not going to say more about him, but he's great. Grandpa's a really great character. And so she probably has a little bit more privilege to be able to explore things and maybe to get away with a little bit more because Grandpa's there to bail her out. And because of that, a lot of people feel like, well, did you have something to do with what's going on? And so she's sort of a pariah in the school. People don't really want to have much to do with her except for her friend Cass, who has been this awesome friend who has stayed by her, who could totally be popular, but she's a really great friend, and she sticks with her. But Kylie just can't not Kylie, that's the author. Ava just can't let things go. She can't let things go. Now, come on, you and I both know people who are like that. I used to be like that. If there was something that I thought was wrong, I could not let it go. If something was not going right, if you didn't look right for the day, I just had to tell you, right? And this is how Ava is. Now, Ava's got another thing that's bothering her. And for the record, Ava is bisexual. And during the summer before this school year, she was seen to be a very romantic relationship going on with Flora. And Flora is this brilliant artist and funny and intelligent girl, and things seemed great. And then suddenly they weren't. What's up with that? And so the whole year, like Ava's tried to kind of figure it out, but it hasn't really made sense. But then something happens right away in the book. She has this little conversation one day. Ava has this conversation with Flora, and Flora seems like she wants to tell her something, but then doesn't. Then that night happens, and she gets a text very late at night, and the text says, I need your help. come fast. What would you do? Now, even though this person has ignored her, hasn't been there for her, she goes. And she arrives just in time to find her dying. She's been shot. I mean, literally, as she's parking her car away from where she's supposed to meet her, she hears the shots ring out. And she runs. And she dies in her arms. What's going on? Why would someone kill her, this high school student? Is this connected somehow to the reason that Flora pushed her away? And there's the other thing. What's going on with all the kids in the school? Like, suddenly she starts to realize that, like, a lot of the kids are showing up beat up. They don't want to talk about things. So she starts following all of these clues to see what it is that Flora was involved with. And she was involved with something that really kind of went over her head. And is this connected? Is it politically connected? Is it revenge connected? What is it? And here's the thing. Ava's not really good at keeping her mouth shut. And her friend Cass becomes involved in helping her. Her little sister becomes involved in helping her. And let's be honest. If someone is willing to kill one person, what makes you think they're willing to stop there? You're next. Guaranteed, this is your kind of book. You're not going to want to put it down. Remember, this comes out. You can go ahead and pre-order it, but this is going to be coming out June 23rd. Okay? You're next. All right. So, the next book that I want to talk about is by Natasha Preston. And this just came out in March. And I also want to say a thank you. This is from a division of Random House, and that's where I got the ARC from, and I do want to thank you for the ARC. For those of you who have read Natasha Preston, she has done like The Cabin, The Cellar, Awake, a lot of other titles that I know students, at least where I work, really, really like. I don't think you will be disappointed in The Twin. Now, The Twin, unlike Youre Next, which is very much like an action-packed, I am out, I am looking, The Twin is much more a psychological thriller, okay? So you're going to be sort of messed up in the head instead. Hey, who doesn't like to be messed up in the head a little bit now and then? So, The Twin, please don't quote me on that. So, The Twin. So, obviously, we're going to have twins. Yay! Look at the cover. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah. This is not going to be like, you know, The Parent Trap, like Disney. Like, let's get together. No, it's not going to be fun, okay? No, what we're going to have here are twins that are a little bit creepy, okay? So we have twins, and they are Ivy and Iris. And I didn't know if it was Edie's or Iris, but I went with Iris, okay? 'Cause I wanted to go with Edie's because I know an Edie's instead of an Iris, but I went with Iris in the end. So we have Ivy and Iris. So this is what happened. It is sort of like The Parent Trap. So parents get divorced when they're kids. One takes one twin, all right? So dad takes Ivy, mom takes Iris. Once in a while they get together, although this is different from The Parent Trap, all right? They get together, you know, they spend some time together, Christmas here, Christmas there, summer break here, so forth. But for the most part, they kind of split the kids down the middle, and you take this twin, I take the other twin, okay? But something tragic happens. Mom dies, okay? Mom dies. And mom is very different from dad. Dad is very much rule-oriented, which Ivy liked and Ivy wanted, even when she was a little kid and knew this was going to happen. And her and dad get along much better. He has, you know, he's very consistent. This is what we're going to do. We're having dinner at this time. And that's how Ivy likes to do things. Mom is very much more of a free spirit. And kind of do what you want and it's okay. And so she liked to live in the big city, whereas Ivy and her dad live in a very rural, small town type of community. And so, you know, suddenly Iris is living with them and in this little small town. She's was like a very popular cheerleader, going out to all these glamorous parties in the big city, and now, she's in a different place. And Dad is saying, "Well, make sure that she feels welcome." And Ivy's like, "Yeah, of course. Like, this is my sister. Of course I'm going to." And they are identical twins. Now, the biggest difference is Iris's hair is a little bit longer. Okay. They are definitely interested in different things. Ivy loves to run. She's a swimmer. Whereas Iris, was a cheerleader. Both athletes, but in different ways. Iris is very much interested in being in the popular crowd, okay? Whereas Ivy's kind of like to herself. She's got like two really close good friends. She is dating the quarterback of the football team, but he's a very down to earth, not really interested in the popular crowd type of thing. So they move in. Iris never really grieves for mom. And by grieving, I mean showing outward grief, not crying, none of those things. And this surprises Ivy. She wants to go and see a therapist. She does. But she starts to notice little things that are creepy. Like, let me give you an example, because I find this creepy. Like, she's sleeping in bed, and Iris comes in and just stares at her. Yeah, that's not creepy. So she tells Dad, and Dad says, she's grieving in her own way. Seriously, Dad? Seriously? That's creepy. Okay. She trims her hair so it's the same length as Ivy's. That's right. She starts borrowing Ivy's clothes. So instead of wearing her little preppy glam clothes, she's starting to dress a little bit more like Ivy. And Ivy starts to feel like, am I overreacting? Is she trying to be me? Like, what's going on here? It's a little weird. And then it becomes outright obvious. She starts telling lies to Ivy's best friends, and they believe her. And she loses her friends. Slowly, things start to build. And all of the trust, all of the things that Ivy thought that she had built up is slipping away. And the only one who is still there on her side is her boyfriend. But for how long? And can she convince the people around her that Iris is not who she says she is? And you know what? Here's the other thing. What about the people she left back? Like, at her old home? And was Mom's death really an accident? Like when she went running? Or was it something more? It's always fun when family comes to stay and then they don't leave. The twin. Natasha Preston. It is currently out right now. The other author I'd like to talk about who has a lot of books out that are thrillers, great suspense, is April Henry. And this was one I just flew through. And I've been wanting to read it for a long time because this is a book that gets checked out a lot, and I have not read it. The Girl Who Was Supposed to Die. Now, I just have to show this to you. Like, what are we doing to women? We're crossing out their eyes. But that was just me. I had to speak up and say something. All right. So, yeah, you can kind of tell what kind of book this is going to be. April Henry has also written The Body in the Woods, Stolen Girl, a lot of other books that have to do with thriller, mystery, suspense. So with this one, you don't even get a name when we start with this, okay? I'm not going to give you too much information because I don't want to spoil this book, okay? But basically, you have a young girl who wakes up in a cabin. She knows she's in a cabin. She wakes up and she doesn't know what's going on. She just sees shoes, the shoes of two different men, and they're talking about doing away with her. We all know what that's code for. Okay? And she's in extreme pain. Like, and she realizes later it's because she sees, like, on the table that they've ripped out the nails from two of her fingers. So she's been tortured. And she's hurting in various places. So they've beaten her up. And so one of the pairs of shoes leaves. The other one's left to take care of her. And she tries to stay, like, pretend that she's out of it. But he kicks her and she makes a noise. But then she resists. She's playing dead. He drags her out into the woods and she tries to be as resisting as possible. I'm going to be dead weight. Drag me out. I'm not going to help you kill me, right? And that would be me too, right? You try and drag my body, see how far you get. So this is her plan, okay? So even though it's painful, especially with those nails, right? She's trying to take in everything she's seen. He's dragging her through the woods. She tries to pick up whatever she can, and what she gets is a rock in her hand. She grabs onto it. And right when he's getting ready to set her up, she takes it. Apparently, she doesn't know anything about who she is, but she somehow knows how to fight. Punches him, uses it, and when she's punching him, there's a rock inside her fist. And when she knocks him over, his head hits a rock. And she's able to tie him up with his belt, takes his gun, takes his wallet, takes his car key, gets out. Apparently she can drive. She figures that out. Like, I've done this before, right? No idea, though, who she is. She starts driving. And so begins the girl who was supposed to die. Who is she? Why are they trying to kill me? Besides, who am I? Why are they trying to kill me? The only thing she has to go off of is in the cabin, there's a picture of a family, and she's in it. And she took that too. But beyond that, she knows nothing. And she's on the run. Because she knows people are trying to kill her, and she doesn't know who to trust. The girl who was supposed to die. So, besides telling you about those books with April Henry and Natasha Preston, if you end up liking any of those two books I mentioned, you know that they write similar books to those. And those are ones that you can pick up and you can read. So, if you like a good page turner, if you like a good thriller with a little bit of mystery mixed in and some action, those are definitely books for you. And like I mentioned, April Henry's book, The Girl Who's Supposed to Die, and the one that's yet to come out, Youre Next by Kylie, Schachte, which comes out in June of this year, 2020. Those are much more action-paced suspense, whereas The Twin by Natasha Preston is a psychological thriller more. But all three of them are definitely page turners if those are the kinds of books that you do enjoy. And I'm sure I'll be sharing more thrillers and suspense books with you, but I wanted to give you some because those are definitely ones that people ask me for. And I hope that there's a story in there that sounded interesting to you. If not, remember, your story is important. And I hope that you continue to share it and that you remember that. So be kind to yourself, be kind to each other. Peace.